Hey everyone, in this video I will walk you through everything you need to know about PyCharm to get you started and take you from zero to hero. If you have not installed PyCharm, you can go to JetBrains website. After navigating to this URL, you will have to click on download button and it will detect your current operating system and will suggest you to download a particular version. So in my case, as I am using Apple Silicon version, you can see it is automatically detecting my operating system and it is giving me option to download here. After you download it, it will ask you to go through interactive session so that you can know more about this IDE. But if you're not getting that option, you can always go and click on the learn button. Here you can start learning your IDE feature. So you just have to click on the start learning and it should navigate you to a interactive learning session dashboard. So if you have follow along, you can see the whole learning section is divided into 8 sections. The first one is onboarding tour, where we will understand about IDE, the brief feature and overview, how you can use the IDE. The second one contains editor basics, how you can edit your code inside PyCharm. The third one is about code completion. So you can do the code completion on fly. Then there is a refactoring, how you can refactor your code directly in IDE without going into multiple files. Then there is a code assistance, how you can utilize the code assistance feature. Then we got navigation, how to navigate from one file to other file. Then we got option for run and debug. Also, we got Git integrated with the IDE. So I'll suggest you to go ahead and start the interactive learning session in your IDE and we will follow along all of these lessons together. So if you have opened your IDE, you can just click on get acquainted with PyCharm. And when you click on that, here it will navigate you through the keyboard shortcuts and about IDE features. Here you can see you can use the command 1 option to open the project. If you are into Windows, it should be control 1. So let's press command 1. You can see we got into our project. We can follow, we have to click to open the project view. So this is our project view. Let's go back to learning. Then we need to expand the project directory to view the project files. Okay, let's go ahead and expand it. So if you click on the source, you can expand all the files with whatever is there inside the source file. Let's go back to learning session again. If you have to open a particular file, you can go ahead and you can click on that file. Suppose if we have to open the sandbox.py, we can click on that and it should open the file. Now let's go back to our learning session. So here you can see PyCharm has already configured interpreter for our course and we can modify it or create another one based on our requirement for our projects. So to check what interpreter is currently configured with the project, you can go to the bottom section of your IDE and you can click on that to check the current interpreter which is there with the current project. You see here is many interpreters are there. So Python 3.12 is currently configured with this current project. You can see the project name is also highlighted here. And if you want, you can always go and add a new interpreter based on your requirement. All right, so let's go back to our next step. So before going to next step, here is a tip. And while you are following the course, it's good that we follow the tip. So this tip says about the Python interpreter, which we just discovered, and it's suggesting that we can discover the Python interpreter setting over there. So I think we can go ahead and move to the next step. The next step is more like a suggestion, which says if you are opening your project for the first time, you should wait for a certain time so ID can index your files and SDK. In this step, it is suggesting if you want to run your application or a file, here is a widget. If you want to debug your application, you have to press this one. And if you have to run your application, you have to press this icon. So to run the application, you can either click on this icon or you can press Command R. So if you're following my mouse, you can see when I am hovering on this icon, it is suggesting run sandbox.py. So let's go ahead and click that. And to run it, we can also press Command R. All right. So the next step is to debug the application. Before you debug your application, it is necessary that we have a debug point. So to have a debug point, you need to go ahead and place a debug pointer at any of the lines. So let's go ahead and place another debug point at line number 8. And now to debug it, you can click on the debug button, or you can just press Command and D. I just press the debug button. I think just because I have done this course, I am not allowed to edit this file. But if you are using it for the first time, I think you should be allowed. So go ahead and try this out. Okay, so let's move ahead to the next step. So this step, it is saying there is a problem in this code because it's not returning the expected value. The expected value is 6.5 because the average of these will be 6.5 if you'll add and divide it by 4, but instead it's returning us 26. So to debug it, what we can do, we can just place a debug pointer here, check what's happening. So that's just to give you a glimpse of how debug point works. But IntelliJ IDEA also give a glimpse like there could be a problematic code. If you'll see in your IDE, there is this yellow highlight section which says that this could be problematic. And along with that, when you'll start your debugger, you will see inside your debug window there are multiple icons, and in that there will be a red color button which you can just press to stop the debugger. Along with that, it's also suggesting how you can reformat your file. So to reformat your file, you need to press Option and Enter. So I'm not able to edit. So basically, when you hit Alt and Enter or Option and Enter, it gives all the available option on the current line of code for the code completion. For example, if you place your cursor on method and you press Alt and Enter, you see we got options to hide type annotations. And if you click on that, you see hidden the type annotation. And now if we go to the next line and if we hit Alt and Enter, you see we are getting other option. And if we go to the next line and we press Alt and Enter, you see we are getting another option. So the point is, if you press Alt and Enter, you can do code completion on fly with your ID. So if you can follow, all of these options are for the code completion, which we can do with the help of Alt and Enter or Option and Enter. Now let's move ahead and know about what is the search everywhere dialog. So if you'll just press shift 2 times, you should be able to see a similar dialog in your ID. So this particular dialog box is known as a search everywhere dialog. And with this dialog box, you can do multiple things. One of the things which you can do is find files. So that was searching files using search everywhere dialog box. But your search everywhere dialog box is not limited to only searching through the files, but we can do multiple other things. For example, let's go to learn section again. Let me move to my welcome.py file. And suppose if you have to change the text average into capital letters, what you need to do is you just need to select it and then press shift 2 times. So now you can see text average is automatically copied to your search dialog box, and search everywhere dialog is able to spot this text everywhere present in your ID. Now let's come back to our original ask that we want to change this text to capital. To do that, we need to check ID actions, and we can do that by typing case. So we can toggle the case for this string here. You see, we are getting the editor action and we can just click on that. So I think just because I have done this course, I'm not able to change this to uppercase, but you can try it and you should be able to do this. So here you can follow that I have only completed 1 out of 40 lessons, and for other 39 lessons I will be recording while I follow the interactive learning session.